Is your website slow, getting very less leads, or not getting enough conversions in your e-commerce store or sales in your e-commerce store? There is a high chance that your website is not performing because your website's speed and performance score is not up to mark. In this video, we are going to decode 20 speed and performance hacks that will save your business from drowning. So let's get started without further delay. Hello friends, welcome to Arav Infotech. My name is Jitendra and I am your host today. If you are concerned about website lead generation or e-commerce stores sales performance, then this video is for you. You can apply these speed optimization hacks on your website, or you can ask your developer to get these done. Also, you can reach out to us for any website support and assistance you require. Good hosting. Yes, hosting is the first step towards your website speed optimization. A quality and good host always ensures your website's highest uptime, and a good host must support object caching. We will speak later about what is this object caching. And a quality host is always gives you low response time, which impacts your speed and performance. Also, while choosing your hosting or server, make sure you choose SSD drive, or nowadays NVMe is there. So these hardwares or drives gives high speed data transfer. Apart from that, if you are running an e-commerce store or a very huge traffic oriented website, your host or server must be scalable. We will talk about that later. Also, if your website is in WordPress, so your website hosting must be WordPress optimized. There are many WordPress optimized hosting providers are there in the market. You can look for them and compare their features. Apart from that, you can check with third-party tools like Pingdom and Bitcatch to identify how is your hosting's response time. And always make sure your hosting is backup capable. Your hosting must take incremental automatic backup to handle any disaster. The second most important aspect for speed and performance optimization is CDN, Content Delivery Network. When we speak about performance and speed, we speak about how it is stable worldwide. I mean to say that if it's loading in 3 seconds in India, it must load in 3 seconds in US too. So that's where the CDN comes into role. A CDN is a distributed library concept. Your data is copied to various data centers across the world. Whenever a user is accessing your website, it gives the nearest location's data, so that reducing the latency. Latency means the time it takes a user to reach your server. That's known as latency. So CDN reduces latency time and helps your website maintain a stable speed across the globe. Also, CDN helps in security protection. Lots of CDNs are now coming with DDoS protection. It's an attack that hackers do to your website. So CDN protects that too. Also, there are CDN helps in maintaining the load time. There are many CDN providers are in market. That is Most popular is Cloudflare. Cloudflare comes with security protections, and NitroPack, which is another CDN, which gives a good Google Insight score, and Akamai, and there are other CDNs too. So choose your CDN wisely and make sure you are getting most out of your website. gzip or Grotley compression. This is a technique that reduces your website assets size, that is HTML, CSS, JavaScript. It compresses its size and gives to the browser so that the user loads the website faster, and it also saves your bandwidth. Also, it impacts on your score and performance. Most of website hosts servers are capable of it. Make sure you get it implemented with your host or developer. You can check using a tool like a web page test tool to check if your website is supporting gzip or not. Server response time, sometimes known as TTFB, time to first byte. You can achieve lowest TTFB or server response time using a good host or server. Implementing server-side caching, your website must be cached at the server level itself, and reducing your server's database queries or interlooped queries or database bottlenecks so that you can achieve the lowest TTFB. How can you check your server's response time? You can use tools like Google PageSpeed Insight or Pingdom or GTMatrix. Also, you can combine your website with the CDN, content delivery network, which will directly improve your TTFB. Object cache. This technique is storing your database query results as a cache so that whenever a user reaches to a website, maybe your website having dynamic content, so the website doesn't reaches to your database repeatedly. It just get the cached copy of query and shows to the user, and saving loading time. Database query are much important when it comes to loading time. So you can implement a query monitoring plugins in WordPress, such as database query monitoring, to identify which database queries are taking much of your time. Also, there are almost all speed optimization plugins are supporting object cache, such as WT Total Cache, Redis Object Cache, and so on. So take advantage of these plugins and make your website compatible with object cache. Website caching helps you reducing your loading time by storing a cached version of your whole website into your cached repository. It saves your server processing time and improves loading time for the user. If your website is in WordPress, you can achieve it using any speed optimization plugin like WT Total Cache or WP Rocket or Lightspeed Cache plugin. To check if your website is supporting website cache or not, you can use tools like GTMatrix web page test tool. Browser caching. Browser caching stores static version of your website in the browser itself. So when a returning visitor comes to your website, instead of reaching out to assets like JPEG or PNG or CSS files, it gets the file from the local device itself or browser itself. hence reducing loading time and improving your website's score and performance. You can get it implemented using htaccess configurations, or you can reach out to your developer. So you can set a time period for this caching, like 30 days or 60 days or whatever your wish is, and it reduces loading time very impactfully. You can check your website is supporting browser cache or not using tools like GTMatrix or web page test tool or Google PageSpeed Insight. Database optimization. Database optimization is a process where we clean up the unused data from the server itself, such as spam comments and transients or post revisions. These data, creates load on your server and hence impacts on the website performance. This activity must be done like once a month. It's a good practice to optimize your database for faster query performance. Also, if your website is in WordPress, you can take help of WP Optimize or advanced database cleaner plugins to keep your website lean and clean. Minifying resources such as HTML, CSS, JavaScript, it reduces your loading time and improves your website score and performance. It removes unnecessary characters, comments, spams, or spaces, etc., so that it reduces the size of your assets and loads quickly. You can implement these minification on your website using plugins like WP Rocket or Optimize, or there are many minification plugins are there. Also, you can check if your website is minified or not using tools like web page test or Google PageSpeed Insight or GTMatrix. HTTP Keep Alive is used to create single TCP connections to your website so that the user can download or multiple assets using the same connection instead of repeatedly requesting connection to your server, reducing your loading time and latency. It loads multiple assets quickly with a single connection. You can check if your website is supporting Keep Alive or not using Keep Alive test tool. You can enable Keep Alive using your server configuration, or you can reach out to your host provider. If you reached so far, it means that you are serious about your website speed and performance. At RV Infotech, we help organizations achieve 95% plus score on Google PageSpeed and GTMatrix. With the help of these hacks applied every month on your website, and apart from these other techniques, to ensure you are gaining and maintaining highest performance for your website. Remove unused codes. It is very important when it comes to speed optimization. Removing unused CSS, JavaScript, and other codes reduces your loading time. Also, if your website is in WordPress, you can implement a plugin named as Plugin Organizer, which you can disable certain plugins on certain sections, reducing load time on that particular section. Even for the home page, you can disable certain plugins which are not applicable. Also, you can use some plugins like Purge CSS or Asset Cleanup, so to maintain a clean codes for your website. Also, you can ensure the third-party tools like Facebook Pixel or Google Analytics or Hotjar. live chat, or any other third-party tools, are they necessary? Are they needed at this moment? You can remove them, because every third-party script added to your website takes time to load. The less number of resources on your website, such as CSS files, JS files, images, and other assets, the less HTTP request would be triggered while loading your web page. To ensure you have less number of resources on your page, you need to combine your CSS file into one or two CSS files. We call it CSS merge. Also, you can merge JS files, but while merging JS file, you have to be very careful. It sometimes result in errors. Also, when it comes to images, you can merge all the icons of your website into one CSS sprite, and that particular one sprite would be used across the website. That's how you can reduce the icons into one file. And images, you can reduce the size and optimize definitely. These optimizations will result in significant impact on your loading performance. It will improve your loading time. You can check how many HTTP requests are there in your website using GTMatrix or Google Web Page Insight. Lazy loading images or video files on your web page will significantly improve its loading time and Google Page Insight score, because it will load when the user scrolls down to that particular section. So whenever I open a page with using this technique, lazy load technique, only the images and videos would be loaded whichever is in viewport. That is, only viewable assets would be loaded. This technique is awesome. You can try. There are various plugins available for WordPress, that is WP Rocket or A3 Lazy Load, or Lazy Load is there in almost all speed optimization plugins. Also, if you have CDN or speed performance based CDN, definitely they also support lazy loading. Image optimization is a continuous process. You have to maintain some steps, or you have to do some steps whenever you upload an image to your website. The first thing is you have to decide where exactly the image would be going and what size would be required there. After resizing the image, you have to optimize it using third-party sites such as TinyPNG or Image Opt-in or Squash. These websites optimize your image, keeping the clarity and resolution as it is. After optimization, then you can upload the image to your website instead of uploading directly high-res images. And further, if your website is in WordPress, you can install a couple of plugins which will maintain optimization automatically in the backend. Those plugins are Smushit, ShortPixel, or Imagify. These plugins will ensure that whenever you upload a picture or image to your website, that is perfectly optimized for a particular size on your website. Further, you can check how many images are there which are need to optimized, or can save how many MB or size you can save by optimizing images. You can use tools such as GTMatrix, Google PageSpeed Insight to check further. When it comes to videos, you have to be very careful in order to maintain your website speed. What you have to do is never host your videos on your server. Instead, choose YouTube or Vimeo. they will give you better speed than your own. The second thing is, don't load the videos directly on the web page. Instead, keep a thumbnail, and after clicking it, the videos should pop up and play. That's how you can save the video loading time. Also, if you have a lot of videos on a page, load them with lazy load technique. It will save a huge lot of time. When the user scrolls down a particular section, the videos will start loading automatically. It's a good idea to load various videos on a single page. For lazy loading images, you can use various speed optimization plugins. Almost all plugins nowadays support lazy loading for videos too. Yes, always use limited number of third-party scripts or widgets. Third-party scripts or widgets take highest amount of your time when it comes to optimizing web page loading. What you have to do is evaluate what all third-party scripts and widgets are there on your website or web page, and what is really necessary. Only keep them only. My recommendation is never use social media feeds on your website. They really impact your loading time, and also use less number of third-party scripts or widgets when it's required. When it comes to choosing the right theme, I would recommend choose a lightweight theme which is optimized for highest speed. Before choosing a theme, check the theme's performance on Pingdom and GTMatrix or Google PageSpeed Insight. After you choose your theme, you make sure that it is fully responsive and opens perfectly across the devices. If you are using ads, that is AdSense on your website, I understand that it is an important aspect for your revenue. In order to optimize your ads along with speed, what you can do? You can use less number of ads, and you can use async ad. Async ads are ads that don't block other aspects of the website, and you can use lighter format of ads, that is HTML5 video ads or animated ads instead of video ads and all. Also, if you can don't use ads on the first viewport. Instead, you can keep ads 1 or 2 scroll down, so that the first view loads very quickly and the ads does not blocks your first loading time. When it comes to fonts, they play a critical role in Google Page Insights score. Use always very less number of fonts, maximum 1 or 2 as needed. Also, you can host your fonts locally so that they don't have to be dependent on Google font or third-party sites when loading the font. Every redirect consumes your loading time, hence make sure that you have minimum redirects on your landing page or home page. You can check how many redirects are there on your landing page using a redirect checker or redirect mapper. Hope this video helps you achieving maximum score, that is 95 plus on GTMatrix or Google PageSpeed Insight, and minimum loading time. If we missed any point, feel free to comment those on the comment box. If you need any web services or support, feel free to reach out us. We would be happy to help you out. And don't forget to like or subscribe. It's free for you, but it motivates us. Take care and bye-bye.